Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Adora. If you're just coming across this channel for the first time, thank you very much for stopping by, and I do hope that before you get to the end of this video you would have a reason to subscribe. So for those of you that always say you don't like the idea of bringing your partner or your husband or boyfriend or fiancé or whatever to the UK or to abroad, wherever you are, you don't like the idea of bringing them over from home to meet you where you are abroad, I think your reasons has once again been justified by this story I'm about to bring out right now. So I understand. I have heard a lot of people say things like, I cannot bring my partner over, or I cannot bring my boyfriend over, to where I am living abroad, or I can't bring my girlfriend or my fiancé. People have different reasons. And before now, to be very, very honest with you, I didn't really see, I used to think like, what's the big deal? Like, what's wrong? It's not a big deal. But after I have heard series of stories on how people betray those loved ones that actually brought them abroad, I began to have very mixed feelings about all this. I began to see reasons with a lot of people who have taken this stand. And sometimes they say you can never really know how people feel until you wear their shoes. So this particular story just happened recently. Now this lady lives in the UK. She met this guy and they've been talking for a while, and this guy lives in Nigeria. So while they were chatting, she made it known to the guy that, she doesn't want to get married. She's not interested in that. All she wants is just a relationship. She just wants someone to stay with her and then build a future together. And then because this guy was already talking about marriage, the guy wanted to get married to her. The guy was interested in having something very, very, very intimate with her. And she told the guy, listen, I'm not interested. And already this guy had already told her before now that I have 2 children, but I'm not married. And she was fine with that. She was like, fine, as long as he has kids. She is not ready for that because she's not interested in having kids anymore. All she wanted was just a companion. So the arrangement was that she was going to get this guy over to the UK. But while the guy was in Nigeria, Madam in UK was sending money for his rent in Nigeria. She was actually paying his house rents in Nigeria. And then to further polish this whole gist, she brought this guy all the way from Nigeria to the UK for his masters. So uncle came all the way from Nigeria to the UK for his masters, and the whole expense was on the head of this woman. She actually paid his rent at home. She actually sponsored his trip to the UK, sponsored his education, his studies all the way from Nigeria to the UK. Paid his school fees 100%. And then after coming to the UK, while he was living with her, she was giving him weekly allowance in this same UK that all of us are pinching pounds. And it's strange, like I have never seen it that a fellow black person will do all this Father Christmas for another black person. Like, you must be on a certain level of wealth in this country to be able to sponsor somebody like that, sponsor somebody that much. You must have that much. Like, I'm sure she's very comfortable for her to have been able to spend that amount of money. And according to Madam, she said in total she spent £30,000 for everything she did for this guy. Both from the bringing from home to bringing to the UK, his school fees, his weekly allowance, and all of that. So, of course, we know that masters here in the UK lasts about 11 months, I think 11 to 12 months. And after this guy finished his masters, at this point, the guy just woke up from his slumber and decided he's not doing again. And decided to move all the way from wherever city they were living to London. He moved to London, ghosted this madam, and then sent for his family to come join him. So apparently, uncle was married all this while. But he only lied to this lady that he had 2 children. And from there, he began the process of bringing his wife and family over to come and join him. And this was when it dawned on the woman that she has been used, that she has been defrauded. Now listen to this audio and I'll be back.
I need your help. Please help me to beg Akin Okoade to return my money for me. Please, he lied to me that he's not married, but he has children. Now he's going to reconcile with this woman again because he is now in abroad. The woman want to come back to his life, and now he want to go back to this woman. He left my house. I pay his school fees. I prepare his visa to come to abroad. I do everything. I spend everything I have. They defrauded me and abandoned me, and now he went to London to stay there to bring his family together. Please help me beg him to return my money for me. It's a very big scammer, double face, 100%. Hey God, it's a big scammer, double face, a criminal. Hey God, I paid his bloody school fees, every penny, spent on his visa, pay his food, pay his rent at Nigeria. So he's a wicked soul. We agree. He said he will marry me. I said no, I don't want to marry, but I want companionship. So companionship, partner together, because you already have 2 kids. That is fine for me. I don't have intention to have children either. So that is our original agreement, that when he comes here, we'll be living together, we'll be planning future together. He made this agreement with me. He called me his wife on when he's talking to me. But I only realized that he is legally married after he left my house. That's when I discovered the truth. Anki lied that he's not married, but he is legally married.
So my 2 cents in this matter is that, in as much as I feel for this woman, in as much as I feel she has been used, she has been defrauded, she has been deceived, she has been lied to, I don't really think there's anything she can do about it. Honestly. Like now, if she reports to the police, what's she going to tell them? Now, if there was no written agreement that the guy was going to, maybe if there was a written agreement that, okay, I'm going to sponsor you with this amount of money, and after a while, we're going to get married. If there was no agreement to that effect, nothing for her. And secondly, if she doesn't have concrete evidence to back up her, her accusation, or to back up her story that she was defrauded by this man, I don't think she's going to win this case in court. Because in the first place, this is just going to be termed as love gone sour. This is just going to be termed as a relationship that did not work. Yeah, fine, you brought the guy from home, you were living together, at least they lived together for nothing less than 6 months, apparently. Then you had a relationship together, it didn't work out again, the guy went away and moved on with his life. They're definitely going to look at it like that. But maybe if he had told you, or maybe there was an evidence, maybe there was like text message evidence or oral evidence recorded somewhere where he told you he is not married, or he wasn't married at that time, and then you took him in based on the fact that you thought he's a single man, maybe the police will look into it and say, okay, fine, he lied to you, he deceived you. Maybe we can look at it and say, okay, fine. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I'm trying to think, where is this judgment going to come from? How is it going to take place? Because one thing we make mistakes, especially when we are in love, is that when we are in love with someone, when in a relationship and you are in love, in most cases we are blind. Like, we close our eyes to everything. We close our eyes to the truth. We close our eyes to the realities. We close our eyes to the red signs. There are always red signs, but in most cases we choose not to see it. I'm very sure during the course of the relationship, there must have been something she must have noticed in one way or the other that were not too comfortable. Some things must have been suspicious. But maybe she just felt like, well, it doesn't matter. We could manage it. I can just wrap my head around it. I can fix it. It's not going to be an issue. And she let it slide. And now she's beginning to taste the repercussion of everything that definitely must have been swept under the carpet. Now, if you ask me, when I saw the picture of this, when I saw the video of this guy and the man, the lady, yeah, she's a bit older than the man, and in as much as people usually say age is just a number, it doesn't really matter. To some people it does. Like, I'm just wondering how she expected this younger guy to marry her. like how she expected this younger guy to be in a relationship with her. Genuinely, the same thing most guys do to women, you know, foreign women, promising them heaven and earth, promising them they're going to marry them and all of that, is the same thing this guy did to his fellow Nigerian. Now, he knew, definitely he must have known that this woman is older than I am. He must have known that, okay, this woman said she doesn't want children anymore. He must have known that there is no way. Like, he should have known that if he was to be a genuine person, he would have seen that, well, apart from going abroad to meet her, what else? What's my future with her? She doesn't want children, you know, she doesn't want us to get married. Are we just going to be like that together, just answering living partners, you know? But if he didn't ask all these questions, definitely he's not a genuine person. Now, it's very obvious why a lot of people refuse to bring people from home. Now, it's now becoming to be very clear why a lot of men feel that once they bring their woman over here, be it a girlfriend, a fiancé, whoever it is, the girl tends to change. The same thing applies to men, because most times we always make it look like it's women that they bring here that change, women they bring here that, you know, begin to dance to the tune of the government. But in a case like this, now this is like on a massive scale. This woman spent £30,000 to do all these things she did for the guy. She spent £30,000 to send this guy to school. Like, when I heard the amount of money she spent to bring in a lover to see him through school and all of that, I'm like, really, this doesn't sound normal to me. But it is what it is. That is life. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know if maybe if she goes to court or she takes it to the police, anything tangible is going to be done, especially if there is no proof, especially if there's no oral agreement which has been recorded somewhere, not just an oral agreement that has just been done, just been said into the air, nothing to back it up. Or there's no written agreement that, okay, we're going to date and you're going to do this for me and I'm going to do that for you. If there's nothing as such on ground, then I will just say, in as much as it sounds very bad and terrible and it's a bad news, honestly, the woman should just forget about it and move on. It's happened, it has happened, and it has happened, but that's the reality on ground. This guy knew what he was out for. It's unfortunate that the woman was not aware that she was the MAGA in this particular scenario. That is it. So people stay very, very alert, be very careful. It's not like you shouldn't bring your loved ones or your boyfriend or girlfriend or fiancé or whatever from home, but be very smart. People come, people change, and people have different intentions. Even when you're thinking good for them, some people are actually harboring evil thoughts for you. Stay blessed and see you in my next video. Ciao.